have been best considering how to get across to the European neighbours why people within the UK are upset with the EU. The EU members seem stuck in a loop and not understanding the frustrations the UK people are feeling. So an analogy came to mind which should get the concept across. First of all, I need to again clarify that the Brexit vote was a vote taken on behalf of all citizens of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. It was not, and I repeat, not a regional assessment. Remoaners, you lost, get over it. Now we have that set in stone, let me place a scenario into your mind. So what I would like you to do is sit down, relax, and let your mind go blank. Now imagine you have a mobile phone contract that you are disappointed in. Sure, the contract allows you to communicate on your chosen device, but you're unhappy with the service, the data plan is lousy compared to the rest of the market, coverage is useless, and you feel it's more expense than it's worth. Have you got that image in your mind yet? Okay, good. Now let's say that one day while searching the provider website, you come across a page that states that if you are not happy with the service, to follow the links below, and when you do, you find a button that lets you close your contract there and then, providing that you fulfill outstanding expenses, an example being handset cost. Since you have had this contract for over 2 years, you know you have more than paid for the handset cost, so you decide to click on the link to terminate the contract, to leave you free to pursue other options. Everyone should be keeping speed so far, and that is a fairly routine transaction. But now let's EUify the transaction. So you have clicked on the link and you believe that you have made an equitable separation, but immediately the phone company bricks the handset that you had paid for. It is now a €500 paperweight. Shortly after this, you start receiving communications from the phone company demanding additional vast sums of money and stating that you still have outstanding obligations. On top of this, when you try to get a new phone contract, your previous provider interferes and effectively starts blocking you from getting a new handset. The provider then contacts all your old friends and colleagues who are on the same network and starts telling some to stop associating with you and threatens others to intimidate them into cutting contact. On top of this, the provider then makes initially covert, growing to overt, threats against you. All the while in public, smiling and saying, well, if you really want a phone, we will let you have one, under your old contract terms, of course. I have heard a lot of people say that Britain made a pig's ear of Brexit, as they did not make plans as to what to do when leaving the EU. There is some validity to this point, as Cameron in his arrogance thought the vote would go the other way, so he did not make any contingency plans. However, this is a bad argument to make, as the Brexit decision was linked to already existing EU legislation. If you want to point a finger in the direction of who is to blame for a lack of plan for Britain leaving, then you must point it at the EU, for one simple reason. They created Article 50 in the Lisbon Treaty, which was ratified in the noughties. Like the disaster that is the EU currency, the whole concept of what do we actually do if someone triggers Article 50 was obviously not properly examined. Even so, when the referendum was fully approved, the EU obviously did not set up a department to handle departures. Oops. I would also say that the European countries through the EU parliaments are behaving childishly to the fact that the UK has decided to leave, using the EU's own rules to exit. The current situation is that the UK is following the rules laid out by the EU to exit membership. But, and here's a big but, if that is not reciprocated within the EU, then there could come a point where the UK decides the rules are not being respected, so there is no point playing by them.